What do we have here on this beautiful Michigan autumn evening? Well, let me tell you, you guys probably know that there's yet another vehicle in the driveway. Now, you'll remember from my last video, I had a 67 Belvedere that bought for the summer. Threw a couple bucks at it, drove it around all summer, 383 car, the small big block. Had a lot of fun with it. It just found its new and likely long-term owner. And the reason why I sold it is because of this vehicle right here, which is a 66 Belvedere. Now, I'm gonna break this video into two segments because I don't wanna bore people. The first part of the video is about the car itself. The second part of the video is about what I've done to it so far. So before I get into any of that, I just want to say that I'm not going to point out who did what on the car, and I'm not going to dog anybody. I'm just going to point out, you know, what I've found. And but before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the car. So it's a 66 Belvedere. I was told it was from New York originally, and owned by a gentleman for the last 20-something years. He's slowly modified the car. And the things he did to it that I'm aware of was it had a 440 in it, which it still does. But he mini-tubbed it. So it's mini-tubs, got 295s under it right now with plenty of room to go a little wider, as you can see. He put the super stack springs on it, the leaf spring relocation kit. He did the 727 transmission, put like a shift kit in it, did a mild build on it, converter. I think it's got a 3500 stall. He put a Detroit True Track in the back. I think it's got a 390 gear. And he did the interior, which the interior, and all the trim and everything. So interior's primo. You know, the original factory benches and everything. It's just a really, really solid, no rust car. Then he decided to go wild with it. Oh, disc brake on the front as well. So just a nice, like, you know, hot rod. I don't know what condition the paint was in. I don't even know what color the car was. But I was brought into the car recently, made aware that it was for sale, and I went and saw it. I was told that it was pretty sweet. It was done up by a custom, a well-regarded custom painter, custom car kind of guy. And so I went and saw it, and sure enough, I was pretty impressed. So the first things I saw, obviously, car has a much lower stance, and we've got shaved badges, airbrushed below the clear. We've got airbrushed carbon fiber look. This is not a decal. This is legit airbrushing. Pretty cool. You know, the ribbon stripes across the back, even carbon on the rear trunk applique, the blacked out bumpers, the removal of a lot of the trim. So kind of a stealthy look, and just a really awesome paint job. So it's a deep black metallic. Car's very, very straight. All the lines are perfect. Also worked with a local machine shop to create this monster. So they took the 440 out, stroked it to a 494, pretty common, so basically a 500-inch motor, and then put the twin Torque Storm superchargers on it with the Holley Sniper fuel injection. So when I got the car, I took it for a brief ride. I was pretty happy with it. But I knew right then and there that, you know, there was going to be some things to be shaken down, because let's face it, the thing was just put back together, and I don't think anyone spent a lot of time on it. The tune was completely off with the Sniper, Super Sniper Holley EFI. So on the engine dyno, when this engine was built, by a credible engine shop. It made 827 horsepower at the crank. And I think they pulleyed it down and reduced the boost for the gentleman that had the car built. I'm registering around 4.5, 5 pounds of boost now. No fuel pressure, boost reference fuel pressure regulator on the car, which that is an issue too that I'm going to be addressing as we crank the boost up, dial the tune in. But the ignition timing was way off. There was no engine protection timing-wise for intake air temp and pulling timing or coolant temp and pulling timing. That's all in the tune now. And I backed the timing way off in the tune until we just kind of get this thing under control. I would suspect I know for a fact the motor without boost is 550-ish horsepower with gobs of torque. With 3-4 pounds of boost, it's probably we're probably driving it around right now in the 600 to 700-ish range horsepower, crankshaft horsepower. Does have a 727 transmission in it, torque flight. It's built. And overall, it's really a sweet car. But like I said, lots and lots of little issues. The alignment is completely off on the car right now. So we'll be addressing that as well. So, but the tuning that I've done to it, I've gotten it to start really well, cold start, hot start, gotten the fan to kick on at the right time. It's not overheating anymore. We ran these wires. Obviously, I have to, do a little cleanup under here and put some looms on here and make things look nice. A lot more capability. So you can pretty much be rolling along at 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, jump on it, and it just blows the 295s right off. Now, granted, they're not drag radials, and I don't want them to be yet. We're going to shake the car down, continue get all the bugs worked out of it, and then we'll put the drag radials on it. We'll crank the boost up. But at 4.5 pounds of boost that it's making right now, it annihilates the rear tires, so you can only imagine what, triple to quadruple the amount of boost is going to do. And really, that's what the motor's set up for from the build in the spec sheet that I've seen from the machine shop that did the work. So it's ready. It's ready to definitely have some boost put on it. Probably wind up getting an intercooler on it at some point. You'll notice there's not one. And I'm still on the fence about the whole sniper thing. I've heard good, I've heard bad. I'm not going to throw it in the garbage can yet. I'm going to spend some time, tuning this thing, seeing how good I can get it. And if push comes to shove, then we'll just simply get a different intake manifold on it, get some fuel rails on it with a multi-port setup, and put the Dominator system on the car and be done with it. Also, I don't know. I haven't had enough seat time with the Torque Storm twin supercharger setup yet, and the gentleman that owns the company has been mildly helpful. I'm not putting him down. I've tried to get in touch, and I've spoke to him once on the phone and sent him some pictures that he wanted, and he hasn't responded yet. So I'm hoping that he's going to help me. And if not, then we'll simply ditch these and probably go with a single Pro Charger or something like that. And so I'll go ahead and fire it up for you because you probably want to hear it. Let the old sniper boot up. Give it its prime shot. As you can see, when the alternator kicks in, it pumps out some voltage now, which is awesome. And blowers sound pretty good. were no air filters on the car when I got it, because they hadn't figured that out either.